Welcome back. So, oh my god. Welcome. Today I will be reading a story which, disclaimer, is not my story. I have full consent to read this though. So I'm glad about it, I guess. If you see that the screen is changing or whatever, it's because I don't know. It's my camera. It's weird. Also, I may sound a little sick, just like a little bit, but I was sick, but it was during the weekend, so it doesn't matter. Not the point. Today I will be reading Slipping Through My Fingers. It is for Mother's Day, and not my story. And I will post the link to the blog and the link to the story in the description. My chest. The warnings are: all Russian words are from Google Translate. Mentions of parties like cursing, sneaking out, mentions of robot attacks, hospitalization, mention car accidents, adopted reader not said when implied because everything that happened in that, mentions of fighting, and let them know if they missed any. Pairings, Natasha Romanoff and daughter reader. The summary is: growing up is hard, especially when seen through the mother's perspective. It is inspired by Slipping Through My Fingers by the Mamma Mia cast, and 3 things. 1, they put certain words in Russian. My Russian sucks, so I will be using the translation that they put in the story. 2, I will be addressing the author as they, because I do not know their pronouns, and I do not want to disrespect them. 3, what was the third one? Oh, yes, 3. This is one of my favorite authors. This is one of my favorite stories, and it is inspired by one of my favorite songs. So it is 3 of my favorite things. So you could say that this is one of it's a story for favorites. The point is, please do not plagiarize their work. You may reblog it if you like, but they are asking that you do not steal their hard work. I asked for consent. I reblogged it on my account, and yes. So, I guess we should get on the story, before I embarrass myself even more. Because, also, I may be speaking low and fast and at a rapid pace because, I'll be speaking low because I have the walls where I live at aren't exactly thick, and last time I filmed a video, they got mad at me. Anyways, if I speak fast, it's because I want to get, not that I want to get this over with fast, but I've been in a tight schedule, and I want to get this video out because I just feel like it's not fair that I ask for permission and it'll take me forever to do it, but that's not the point. I just want to get this out as fast as I can so that you can enjoy the story as much as I enjoy it. Great. I just did what I did. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start reading because I already embarrassed myself enough. Mama, 5-year-old you chanted as you ran around the shield-safe house that you and your adopted mother were currently living in. Natasha walked out the kitchen with a smile, bending down to your height. What is it, baby? You looked up at her with a wide grin. I'm going to school today. The older woman chuckled before scooping you into her arms and walking back to the kitchen. I know, little one. I'm the one who signed you up. Your mouth dropped into an O shape as you looked up at her with wide eyes. You're amazing. She smiled, softly booping your nose. No, baby, that's you. Natasha gently put you down on the counter and went to the fridge to grab your lunchbox that had flowers printed on it. Here you go. This is for lunch. He nodded excitedly, quickly grabbing it from your mother's hands, and hopped off the counter. I'm going to get my backpack, he called, running and exiting the room. She chuckled again, watching her 5-year-old leave with an adoring smile. Your name, Natasha called up the stairs. He's here. The sound of your tiny feet thudding on the ground, practically hurtling down the stairs, were heard, causing the two people in the living room to chuckle. Uncle Steve, you squealed, barreling yourself at the blonde super soldier and hugging him. He laughed lightly, not even a little fazed by the force of the 7-year-old, and quickly hugged you back. Hey there. Nat smiled at the scene in front of her before clearing her throat slightly. Okay, kiddo, it's time for me to go. You gave her a small smile and wave, already diving into a conversation with your uncle about your most recent piece of art that you brought home, a small house with the sun in the corner. The red-headed lady smiled again before carefully and quietly slipping out of the door to go to work. Are you sure you have everything? Your mother asked for the 1,000th time. Yes, Mom, yes, you said with a slightly annoyed sigh. She laughed slightly. I'm just making sure. You sighed again. I know, Mama, I'm sorry. You pulled her into an unexpected but not unwelcome hug. She hugged you back tightly, holding you until you loosened your grip slightly, letting her know that you were going to let go. She held you at arm's length and looked you in the eyes. You remember what I taught you? You groaned, pushing her hands off your shoulders slightly. Mom, I'm not going to need to fight anybody. Natasha put her hands up in surrender. I'm just saying, you never know. But the thought made her extremely nervous and feel sick to her stomach. Now you looked her straight in the eye. Mom, I'm going on an overnight school field trip with other 13-year-olds. It's not like going to hang out with Uncle Tony for the weekend and getting attacked by robots again. That was the main reason you weren't allowed to be left alone with one of your uncles anymore. She rolled her eyes childishly and crossed her arms with the same amount of energy. I know that, she sighed yet again, bringing her back into a hug. I'll be back soon, Mama. Natasha suddenly got a sense of deja vu, because she used to say the exact same thing to you whenever she would go on missions when you were younger. With that, you turned on your heel and met up with your friends, climbing onto the bus that would bring you to your friend's field trip destination. The older woman felt a pang of sadness as she watched you walk away, back facing her. Natasha sat on a chair in a white room with her hands in her head, painfully aware of the colorless atmosphere. The steady beeping coming from the machine next to her was the only thing keeping her sane in that moment. It was the only thing letting her know that you were still alive. You were only 14. This shouldn't be happening to you. You should be out at the mall with your friends right now, spending more money than your mother told you to, and eating way too much junk food. You should not be on a hospital bed, barely hanging on to life. Mama? Natasha had lost track of how long she had been there. 2, 3, 6 days? However long it was, she hadn't gotten a single wink of sleep in that full time. Your voice was hoarse and scratchy from the lack of use. Her head snapped up, and she was immediately by your side, kissing your face and bringing you into a gentle hug. Oh, honey, she rushed again. Once she pulled away, I'm so sorry. Why? You asked, eyebrows furrowed in confusion. A single tear ran down her face. I should have never let you get into that car. I should have known that somebody would hit you. Mama, you cut her off as sternly as you could in your current state. You could have never known. It's not your fault. And with that, you fell back to sleep, and Natasha collapsed in the chair next to you. Once again. Natasha let out another frustrated breath, checking her phone for what felt like the 1,000th time in the last 2 minutes. She had been about to go to bed and decided to go check on you like she would every once in a while. When she had gotten into your room, though, you were nowhere to be seen, and your window, that was always locked, was unlocked, indicating that you had snuck out and left it open so you could hopefully climb back inside soundlessly. After leaving at least 100 voicemails and even more text messages, she was finally getting to the point where she was about to call the team. But then you climbed right back through your window just as a thought was crossing her mind. Your eyes widened, seeing your mother pacing in her room, clearly not having been expecting her there. You had turned your phone off, so you hadn't seen or gotten any of her many, many messages. You had snuck out a few times already. Every 15-year-old does it, and each time you got in and out without her noticing. You watched as she stopped pacing as soon as her eyes landed on you. She tried to mentally prepare for yourself for what was to come. "Where the hell have you been?" she seethed, marching up to you with the most deadly look you had ever seen her wear. You rolled your eyes. "Out." "Out," she hissed. "I have tried to contact you 1,000 times, and all you say is out." You shrugged, beginning to discard of your shoes. "Yeah, I guess." Your mother shook her head in disbelief. "Well, you better have been out saving an old lady's cat from a tree, because out is not going to cut it." "What's the big deal?" you exploded, twisting around to face her. "Everyone does it." "I don't care what everyone does," she screamed back. "I don't care what you do." You rolled your eyes and scoffed, "Whatever," and then sulked out of the room, slamming your door behind you. Natasha continued to stare at the spot where you had just been seconds ago. Where had she gone wrong? Your mother reached up her hand and gently knocked on your door, waiting a couple of seconds before entering when she heard no shout of protest. Her eyes landed on you, hunched over your desk, doing what she could only assume to be homework. "Hey, sweetie," she greeted, after a moment's hesitation. She watched as you scowled, not looking up as you continued to write on your paper inside. "Listen, nickname, maybe we should talk?" The redhead tried, leaning against the doorframe. You slammed your hands on your desk, whipping around in the chair to glare harshly at her. "About what? About the fact that you grounded me for stinking out? For wanting to actually have fun with your life? Do you even blame me?" Natasha stayed silently through your little rant, lips pursed tightly. "I just don't know where you were. If you just had asked me." You cut her off, standing up abruptly. "You would have what? Actually let me go?" He scoffed. "We both know that you would never have let me go to the party." When she didn't respond, you rolled your eyes and let out a humorless laugh. Typical. And with that, you stormed out of your room, just as you had done 2 days prior. "Oh, come on," Natasha groaned, handing over her 9 of diamonds. You grinned, accepting the card. "Why does it always seem like I win this game?" You paused for a moment, pretending to think, before smiling again. "Oh yeah, it's because I always do." Your mother rolled her eyes and playfully mumbled, "Because you're a little cheater." You fake gasped, placing a hand over your chest. "How dare you accuse your own daughter of cheating? I would never." "You used to cheat all the time," your mother insisted in amusement. "Yeah, well, I'm a mature 16-year-old. You struck a silly pose. Besides, I think I hear some jealousy in your voice." You teased. "Oh, please." She put her cards face down, and leaned back, crossing her arms. "As if I'm jealous of my daughter cheating at all silly children's games such as goldfish." "Jealousy," you said in a sing-song voice, laughing as you dodged the pillow your mother had thrown at you. And pretty soon, the sound of your laughter was met with your mother's own as well. Mama, you called from the kitchen. She hung back from the living room. You giggled a little, trying to silence your laughter. Come here. Why? She asked in a slight suspicion. Please? You begged like someone who was most definitely not 16. She huffed, rolling her eyes slightly and making her way to the room that you were in. What is it? She cut herself off and came to a sudden halt when she caught a look at the sight in front of her. You were up on the counter, doing a split handstand and a stack of pancakes stacked on each of your feet. Your giggles finally slipped out and tried not to let them throw off your balance. Natasha gapped at you for a minute. What are you... How did you... Huh? I'm doing a pancake handstand, you said between laughs as your mother continued looking at you with a mixture of expressions. Slipping through my fingers all the time. Okay, you announced, entering the room with arms full of sorts of stuff. I have the treasure. Natasha looked up at you with amusement. I told you I'm fine. You shook her head stubbornly. You are most certainly not fine. You broke your arm, Mom. I've broken it before. It's okay, she insisted, gesturing to her unnecessary, in her mind, sling. You shushed her. Just let it happen. You quickly plopped down next to her on the couch, handing her pillows and blankets, as well as all sorts of junk food. Using the remote, you quickly flipped to the show that you two had begun watching together a couple weeks ago and pressed play. After a couple of episodes, you were resting your head against your mother's uninjured arm with your eyelids drooping. She looked down at you with soft features, kissing the crown of your head. Thank you for this, sweetie. You hummed in return before falling asleep into a peaceful slumber. I tried to capture every minute, the feeling in it. And then she told me that she actually didn't buy it at all. You finished dramatically. Natasha gasped. She didn't? You shook her head, and Natasha breathed out in disbelief at the drama her daughter had just provided to her about what was going on in the 17-year-old school right now. You both took a sip of your coffee as you looked around the small cafe that the two of you were sitting in. It had been half day for you, and Natasha wasn't. It'd been a half day for you, and Natasha wasn't going away on a mission at the moment, so she could be there with you, and decided that you two would have a mother-daughter afternoon together. Come here, she said, quickly reaching out and taking her phone out, wrapping her arm around you and bringing you closer as she snapped a selfie of the two of you, both with huge, genuine grins upon your face. Oh, guess what else? You immediately dove right back into the talk about who lied to who, and all Natasha could do was look at you with a smile. She wished she could freeze this moment in time forever. Your eyes were dropping with your head resting in your hand. Your head rocked up and down and back and forth gently until your hand finally gave away and your head smacked right onto your kitchen table. Natasha came sprinting into the room at the sudden loud sound, ready to fight off anyone who dared come near you, only to find you groaning and holding your nose. She chuckled a little. Still tired from studying all last night? He nodded, groaning again. Come on, honey. She walked over to you and gently grabbed your arm and began to lead you up the stairs, allowing you to lean on her for support. Walking into your room, she quickly flicked on the lights and allowed you to lay down on your bed, tucking the covers around you as your eyes were already closed. Just before she was going to walk out of the room, she mumbled, I love you, Mama. You mumbled, I love you, Mama. I love you too, baby girl. And with that, she flicked off the lights and quietly exited your room. Why do you do this to me? Natasha asked with a groan. You shrugged, sporting a large grin on your face. I thought you liked surprises. She glared at you. You know I don't. You pretended to stop and think. Really? After the thousands of times that you told me, I thought you were joking. She rolled her eyes. Ha ha, very funny. The grin never left your face. I think so. Come on, the older woman whined childishly. Where are we going? Finally fed up with your mother's pestering, you let out a huff of annoyance and rolled your eyes. You'll see when we get there. Now that you were finally able to drive, you'd wanted one of the first things that you did was take your mother to a surprise location. But of course, you didn't take into account or just didn't care that the ex-assassin did not like express surprises. Finally, you pulled into your destination. Your grin magically reappeared as your mother looked to the unknown area around in confusion. What is this now? She turned to you. Are you going to kill me now? She asked, only half joking. You shrugged, getting out of the car and beginning to walk away before you disappeared around the corner. Natasha furrowed her eyes and quickly got up and jogged after you. As soon as she ran at the corner, chorus of voices yelled out, Surprise! The woman quickly jumped, getting into a fight stance quickly before scanning her surroundings and realizing that it was her team and daughter standing in a park next to happy birthday balloons and a table with cakes. Natasha's mouth dropped open in shock as you quickly rushed over and gave her a huge hug on her hands. Once her hands released her tight fists. Happy birthday, Mama. Did... Natasha stuttered. She didn't think that anyone had remembered her birthday because she hated making a big deal out of it. Your name organized all of this, Bruce answered her unasked question. She looked down at you in surprise. You did? You nodded a little, looking up at her with a grin, and she kissed the top of your head. Thank you, honey, she said softly, only so you could hear. Okay, Tony interrupted your moment, rubbing his hands together. Cut the chit-chat and let's eat cake. Everyone laughed. With a deep breath, Natasha stepped out of the car, following what you had just done seconds ago, and joined you on the sidewalk. She watched as you looked out over all of the people and buildings with fear in your eyes. Hey, she said in a soft voice, nudging you gently. You finally made it. You looked over her with tears in her eyes. Oh, Mama, you sobbed, leaping into your mother's arms. She shushed you softly, stroking your hair like she did when you were little. It's okay. You're okay. Though it seemed like she was trying to convince you of that, she was really trying to convince herself of it. I can't. Yes? She cut yourself out. You can do this, little one. I have so much faith in you, little one. But it's college. I'm not ready for college, you exclaimed, still holding your mother tightly. She pulled away, holding you at arm's length with a small, ready smile on her face. Yes, you are. You are ready for this, you hiccuped. How do you know? Because I know you. She shook your arms a little, and I know how amazing you are and how you can do anything that you set your mind to. You pulled away and smiled slightly. Thank you, Mama. She barely managed a nod as she watched you pick up your bags, take a deep breath, sparing one more long glance at your mother before walking away. She watched you go with tears in her eyes. Thank you for watching. I know this is... I know this is not one of my best... how do I say this? It's not my best audio, I guess. It's like, I only have 3, counting this one, 3 videos. But, like, to me, there's a difference, because I film my other videos in, my office, and I'm filming this one in a friend's office, because, I filmed my first video in my office, and then I filmed the second chapter of Broken, and I'm filming this story. I filmed my last 2 stories, or chapters, or whatever you want to call them, in a friend's office, and I feel like they're just not, they're louder, or smaller, or I don't know, but what I'm trying to say is there's a difference in the audio, and please let me know if there is, and I'm gonna stop rambling. Anyways, thank you so much, Book Place. It's a channel on Tumblr, for letting me read this. It's my favorite story, like in my top 3. I'll let you decide which one, but like, I'll let you know. Oh my gosh, my throat hurts, and I honestly don't care, because I got to film this, and I'm just so happy I got this over with, because now you guys get to enjoy the story as much as I do. I tried to incorporate, like, I tried to change my voice at the beginning of the story, but, like, I felt like it didn't do anything, because my voice is just, like, naturally like this, and all I did was make my voice higher, and I progressively made my voice lower. But this is, I think, as low as my voice goes, and if I go like this, and there's a lot of hoarseness in it, so I'm thinking, why is this so complicated? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I will the blog's channel link is in the description. The book's link is in the description. I'll put my Tumblr and my Wattpad in the description as well. Again, absolutely all the credit goes to the author. I cannot stress this enough. This is my favorite story. And their channel is all platonic stories, so they have a lot. But anyways, that's it for today. Thank you. Bye-bye.